Welcome! In this video we will look at advanced list views on forms within the PowerBasic Windows compiler. In our last video we added the list view to our application. In this video we're going to do some enhancements on the list view. So first of all we will go into the form designer, and there's a couple of things we want to do to smarten up the screen slightly. In the list view itself, we don't have a border around the object, so we'll add in a border, and I think we'll take the border off the pie chart. And if we save that and run our application, and pick our eye color and do the search, there we go. Now, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to highlight each of the alternate rows to make the screen more readable. So, how do we do that? In our event handler, where we handle all the notifications that happen for each of the controls on the form, we want to add in some specific handling just for the list view. In order to do this, I'm going to create a pointer. Right, this pointer is actually pointing towards a type. This is a type that's defined in the Windows API that gives us all the information we actually need to control what happens with the list view. Now, in the event handler there are a number of different events that are actually catered for. The initialize dialog, the activation, and the individual commands for each of the controls on the form. What we're going to add in is a new type called notify. And in here we're going to pick up the notification commands. Each of the controls on a form which can accept input from a user can be handled inside the notify. So we're specifically wanting just the list view. And we can use the callback NMID to pick up the control which is attempting to notify us. And we're only interested in the list view, so we'll just put the ID handle for the list view in. So any notification the list view actually sends us will arrive at this part of the code. Now we need another select command to pick up another constant, which is the fact that we want to do a custom drawing of the control. This is where we're going to be using our pointer. So the pointer we defined up here is the one we're about to populate. And we're going to pick up one of the properties of the callback, the LP param. Now, if we have a look in the help for this, you'll see that there are a number of different things that the callback functions can actually pick up. Ones we used in the previous video with the control that's currently being operated on, and the one we're doing here is the L param. Now if we look down here for the L param, this is triggered when Windows sends a message to a callback function. The LParam value contains different values depending on the nature of the particular message. So, what are we picking up? Well, in this case we are specifically interested in drawing the control. So this is where our pointer comes in. And we'll walk down So what stage of the drawing are we actually at? we have a number of different stages we're interested in. The pre-paint stage, and for these pre-paint stages, either for the item or for the main object, we want to trigger and pass back another constant, notify item draw. Now, once we get into this line of code, where we're into the sub-item pre-paint, this is where each of the rows of the list view is actually going to be handled. Now, our question here is, do we paint the row? So, we need to test which row we're on, and we want to make alternate rows different colours. So we're going to create a new function called coloured row. We're going to pass it a parameter, which is our pointer, and this parameter is actually the row number it's handling. So let's create this new function. This function is going to return either a true or false, and what this function is actually going to do is basically work out, is the row odd or even. So we're passing an along, which is the row number, and we're going to use the mod command. The mod command, which we may not have used before, is a function inside PowerBasic that returns the remainder of the division between two numbers. So in doing that, if it is directly divisible by 2 with no remainder, then we'll return true. Otherwise, we'll return false. Very simple function. And if we go back down to where we're calling this, so if the function is true, this is where we want to put some colour in. And we use our pointer again. And the property we're actually going to be changing is for the background text colour. And we're going to give it a colour there, and we'll want to do the same for the forecolor. So what colours are we going to do? Well, for the text colour we'll just go for a straightforward black. For the background colour we have a number of inbuilt colours we can actually use. So if in doubt, go to the help file, and you will see in the help file it's very helpful and it gives you all the range of colours you can use. These constants here are the ones that give you that colour. So we're going basically for the khaki colour. May not be the best colour, but we'll try it and see what it does. So if it's not going to be a coloured row, we'll just take the defaults, which are basically background being white and the foreground being black. Now, have we got everything we need there? Let's try running that and see what we get. I've missed a then. And I've missed a then as well. I'm doing well today. Right, our code is now running. So we pick our eye colour, we hit the search button, and there we go. Possibly khaki is not exactly the best colour to pick, so we'll try maybe one of the green colours. That might be slightly more appealing on the eye. So let's go for maybe pale green, light green. Let's try pale green. And run that now. Yeah, slightly more readable. So this has actually coloured them in quite happily. Now we're going to add one more bit of functionality to the list box. Currently when we search out the data from the list box, it appears alphabetically sorted based on the first name. What I want to do is to be able to sort the list box based on any of the columns. So how are we going to do that? Well, if we go back to our event handler for the form, we're going to create a new variable at the top called lvdata, and we're going to use one of the inbuilt types, nm Listview, which, as you can probably tell from the name, is to do with list views. Now further down in the notify section, which we handled earlier, where we're handling the custom draw, we're going to put a new case in, which is column click. This event is going to pick up the fact that you've actually clicked on one of the column headers. And the first thing to do here is basically to use the type command and our new variable. Now what we're doing here is we're actually populating this variable based on the callbacks header. Now we may want to sort the columns either alphabetically sorted ascending or descending. So probably the easiest way to do that is we will create a static variable which will maintain its state every time we come in here, and we'll call it sort direction. This is basically going to be either a 0 or 1. And the easy way to do that is like that. Each time we get to this line of code, sort direction will toggle between a 0 and a 1. So when we click on the column header the first time, it'll be 0, and then it'll be 1, and then back to 0 again. And then we can test on that value. So when it's 1, we want to use the sort command inbuilt to the list view. And we want to use the handle to our list view. And we're going to pick up our new variable and use one of its properties of this particular user-defined type. To sort it in ascending. Now what we're actually doing here is we're issuing a command to the system to sort this particular list view. Now because of the way the columns have actually handled internally, it stores the column starting from 0, so we're basically adding 1 to it to make sure we sort the right column. And then we'll take exactly the same logic for the descending sort, and rather than ascend, so we can spell it right, descend, there we go. So what this should do is that when the column header is clicked, it will pick up and populate the data into this new user-defined type. It will decide on the sort direction, and then based on the sort direction it's selected, it will then sort it either ascending or descending. So if we try that now, and we search out some data, there's the data we had before. Now we have it sorted by the first name. If we click on the surname, it then sorts alphabetically on the surname. Click on the telephone, it sorts on the telephone number, descending, ascending, descending, and it toggles each time you click on it. It will toggle between them quite happily. Now you don't have the ability to sort in more than one column, but that should be quite easy when the program runs for the first time to decide if you want to look at surnames. You can select the surnames quite happily and very, very quickly. So very efficient and very fast way of actually sorting within the code. Of the options you can get on Listview, the sorting does go quite far. If we have a look at the Listview sort, not only do you have ascending and descending, you can basically decide whether it's an alphabetic sort, a numeric sort, or a date sort. So if you have columns in your list view that contain these types of fields, you can encode select them specifically. You can pick up which column you're actually working on based on this, and then decide which way you actually sort. So you can selectively sort. So if you have a column that has dates in it, you can sort it using the date option. So that completes our look at list views today. Thank you for watching.